The affordable housing crisis is one of the most pressing challenges of our time. It is estimated that the US now has a national shortage of 7.3 million affordable rental homes. The skilled labor shortage remains the key limiting factor to expanding home construction and improving housing inventory and affordability. Even though everything seems doom and gloom in the industry, there are a couple of companies working on innovative solutions to the housing crisis. One of them is the P4 Housing Collective in Idaho. This group was established by two co-founders of a unique automated construction factory. The huge success of this factory inspired them to form the collective to help develop more automated facilities using a standardized, pre-designed system. They build affordable apartment buildings in a factory environment with robot arms, gantry cranes, CNC machines, and more. Their modular prefabricated approach reduces the skilled labor needed, cuts out risks, and speeds up the construction process. I recently toured their facility and I was blown away by their automated systems. In this video, we're going to take a closer look at the factory that started it all and look at the pros and cons of their process. This innovative 400,000 square foot factory is a turnkey automation solution for offsite construction. The process removes a lot of the on-site risks by building prefabricated modules in a controlled indoor environment. Their automation line begins with highly detailed digital models that contain mechanical, electrical, plumbing data, structural members, windows, doors, final finishes, and more. A digital kit of parts is sent to a Hundegger machine that cuts down all the structural lumber to size. It is then wrapped into bundles and sent off to the first assembly line. A vacuum robot lifts dimensional lumber, LVLs, glulams, and other structural members onto conveyor rollers. Robot arms then pick up the members, place them in precise locations, and begin nailing them together to create wall panels. These can be exterior wall panels with window openings or interior wall panels with door openings. These robot nailing machines can even assemble smaller panels with extreme precision. You will not find nails that have missed their targets or even over-nailed connections that could compromise strength, like you typically do with on-site construction. The next step of the assembly involves applying glue to the studs to prepare them for sheathing and drywall. Another set of robot arms lift OSB and drywall with suction cups and place them in correct locations. These are nailed to the studs with 4 robots that hold 5 nail guns, so you can hear 20 nail guns going off at the same time. This part was truly fascinating to watch and observe. It was just as loud as workers on a job site, but the robots achieved a level of accuracy that I have never seen humans achieve. It was like watching a beautiful orchestrated dance. The team has managed to code the data held in the brains of skilled labor and pass it off to robot arms. The next part of the assembly involves routing out holes in the drywall and sheathing for window and door openings. The robot arms even cut out holes for electrical boxes and lights. All the waste pieces of drywall and OSB drop down onto a conveyor belt and head straight into a dumpster. In addition to wall assemblies, the team has automated the construction of floor assemblies. Open web joists are picked up by a large robot arm and placed on conveyor rollers. They are nailed to a supporting frame and passed down the assembly line to meet their corresponding wall panels. Now that the structural frames are complete, it's time to add the insulation, mechanical, electrical, and plumbing components, the weatherproofing, windows, cabinets, countertops, and more. Floor panels are lifted onto a mezzanine level to allow workers to access both the top and underside of the floors. Flooring planks, electrical conduit, lights, and pipe are installed at this stage. Wall panels are held in vertical racks for easier access. Heavy-duty overhead cranes with an 8-ton capacity pick up all these wall, floor, and ceiling panels and move them to the final assembly line. This section involves the most amount of manual, hands-on labor because it's very difficult to automate intricate assembly tasks in a closed-in environment. Even though these are affordable housing units, they are extremely well built and insulated. I walked through a couple of living and kitchen modules and I was surprised by how spacious, well-made, and comfortable they were. every vulnerable surface like the countertop and floor is covered and taped up so it doesn't get damaged during assembly and transportation. Once a housing module is complete, it is shrink-wrapped in plastic and moved outside to the yard. It is stored there until the workers on site are ready to install them. The volumetric modules are shipped on the back of trucks, lifted with cranes and assembled. Once the building is complete, it's impossible to tell that it was factory built. Over the past 2 years, I have visited a couple of off-site modular facilities, but none of them were as advanced and well thought out as this one. Their emphasis on safety really stood out. Every assembly area was fenced off and controlled with motion sensors. If a human opened a door and entered the area, the robots would immediately stop working. The company also wants to avoid any injuries due to repetitive lifting of heavy materials. So, suction lifts, gantries, and conveyor belts do all the heavy lifting and transportation. Cleanliness is another important value to the company. The factory was constantly being cleaned, whether it was the area run by robots, the finishing area run by humans, and even the storage area outside. Raw materials and supplies were clearly marked and stored in designated locations, and every supply cart was fully stocked. The communication and collaboration between workers also impressed me. Everyone seemed knowledgeable not only about their task, but about the entire construction process. The company seems truly passionate about solving the affordable housing crisis in the States. To them, it's not just a tagline. I spoke to co-founder Rick Murdoch about this issue. The housing crisis is on everyone's mind, the lack of affordable housing. It's affecting a lot of people, not just in this country, but globally too. How do you think that off-site modular construction could help alleviate this issue?
We all need an address. We need to be able to afford an address. And when I look out there and see this crisis going on, it's not people that have done bad things that are living in the street. It's hardworking people living in the streets as well because they can't afford an address. Off-site construction doesn't solve that problem, but it goes a long way in helping relieve it. Modular manufacturing, for what we do, not only are we all together in one building that's climatized and we're all working together for the same purpose, we're all being able to communicate very well with each other and train new people that have no knowledge of construction and train them to be good construction workers in a very short period of time. And so we can produce faster, and in many high-cost areas we can already produce a lot less. And so I think that that's why I see off-site as being so extremely important.
Another advantage of automated factories for off-site modular construction is the role that it can play in helping fix the skilled labor shortage. The next generation of workers who will enter the construction industry are not as keen on outdoor manual labor. Their lifestyles are different and their expectations are different. An automated, technology-driven environment with new methods of construction can attract new talent and younger workers. The company is applying the concept of gamification to construction. They do not need to hire skilled masons or carpenters. They have actually found that video gamers are pretty good operators for their robotic systems. I spoke to Curtis Fletcher, another co-founder of this innovative factory, who said that they use augmented reality and virtual reality to train their younger, inexperienced staff.
The ability to take somebody that doesn't know a lot about a particular trade and have them be able to see a visual of what really needs to happen is super helpful when they don't have years of experience, and that tribal knowledge that has exited the market is not there anymore to help. This is very helpful for them to get where they need to go and actually finish a job on time, on schedule.
It also made me proud to see that around 30% of their workers on the production floor were women. In order to fix the skilled labor shortage, we have to automate and attract a more diverse workforce. At the same time, I also think it's important to not oversimplify the problem we are facing. Construction is a very difficult industry to automate. The team were very transparent about all the struggles they faced and the steep learning curve they've gone through over the past 3 years. As amazing as their technology and process is, right now it economically makes sense in markets with high construction costs or time constraints, like California. In order for them to produce cost-competitive buildings in other parts of the country, they have to drastically increase the rate of production, like the automotive industry.
automotive manufacturing is 1 every 53 seconds or something of that sort. Well, we're 5 modules a day. That's not going to get us to the volume to actually make this super affordable to really match the requirements of an area like Boise, Idaho, or Central Valley of California. What we really need to be able to do is apartment buildings and these sorts of things at 20, 30 a day out of a single factory with the same labor. Those things only happen when you've got a standardized product that you can really, the F-150 sort of model, right? Where you can really just produce it at a fast pace.
I think one of the many challenges to standardization of buildings is that clients and designers take a lot of pride in their projects. Construction isn't identical to the automotive industry, where we've accepted that we're going to drive the same car as millions of other people. Homeowners, businesses, and designers want a bespoke or a unique project. I think architects need to work with people from a technical background to prove that we can make bespoke projects with standardized components. I really appreciate what this team has created so far and how they've now formed the P4 Housing Collective to help get many more automated factories up and running. I'll link the company's website in the description if you'd like to learn more about their vision. I'll also link my podcast with Curtis Fletcher up here. Let me know in the comments if you're interested in more videos on construction automation, which seems to be the future of our industry. I'll also link my Patreon page in the description. I'm now offering early access to ad-free videos on Patreon as a thank you to everyone supporting me. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe button, and the notification bell too. Thanks for watching. See ya.